Well, hello, everybody, and welcome to the show. My name is Jared Lee, and I'm joined, as usual, by my lovely wife, Jamie Lee. So, Jamie, how you doing?
I'm doing pretty well. How are you?
I'm doing good. We've talked, of course, on here about we've gone to Epic a few times, and we were there opening day. And I think we're at the point, at least for me, and I think you're at the same place where I'm just going to wait and see when it comes to Epic because the crowds and up and down still trying to figure that park out. But I do think we're going to go back to Universal this next week to check out some things. We were going to do Volcano Bay, but we realized our son's pass is blocked out.
I mean, half of us could.
Yeah.
Two of us might.
Which we still could work that out. We may still do that because our daughter really wants to go to Volcano Bay. Mm-hmm. We haven't been to Volcano Bay for a bit. Yeah, it's just we're not really big water park people.
Well, yeah, and it's just we won't go between November and February. So it's just now starting to be the season that we really want to go. And our son is blocked out.
Yeah. Well, I'm not a big water person fan in general, but I do really enjoy Volcano Bay.
Yeah.
But there are things that go along with going to a water park that are different. You have more stuff there. You got to find a place to put it. There's just more logistics involved in a water park visit versus going to a theme park, I think.
Yeah.
A little bit more. It's easier to go to a theme park and just go do stuff.
Especially at Universal.
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah. I'm excited to go back to I'll call it the other two parks, not Epic.
I just call them the OGs.
The OGs, the OG parks, and, do some summary stuff because a whole bunch of new foods have come out, and
they have some Back to the Future milkshakes I was showing you.
I want to try those.
I think some of this stuff is what they had. They had a lot of food out at the Universal Fan Fest in Hollywood that was Back to the Future based. I think their Mel's Diner out there had some very exclusive foods. I think some of this stuff is stuff that they had featured out there.
Got it. Okay, that makes sense.
And I wish we would get Fan Fest in Orlando.
Let me tell you,
I do hope that they end up doing that because, like I said on the Captain Magic YouTube channel, had Orange Grove 55 on, George the Italiano, and some other guys talking about FanFest, and they could not stop raving about it, how great it was. And obviously out there you still have Hill Valley, where you can, and that was what they made part of it, which made it even better. But overall, man, that thing looks so cool.
Yeah. Yeah, I got to do it. I got to do it next year. I hope I can. Maybe I can.
Well, I don't know if they raise the price on it, but even with Express Pass, it's under $200 to go do it. It's pretty wild. So it's something
crazy.
that, yeah. And we'll talk more about some of the retro properties.
Okay.
I have a theory, if you will.
Oh.
What could be coming.
Okay.
Plus, we have some news about Halloween Horror Nights we're going to talk about.
Yeah.
And then we are going to rank where we would put the Epic Universe attractions.
Yeah. How we would, our favorite to our least favorite or best or worst, however you want to say it.
Yeah. So we have some thoughts on that matter. But before we get to the news, just remind everybody, if you're watching us on YouTube, please like this video and subscribe to the channel. And if you're not watching us on YouTube and you're just now hearing about this and you would like to, you can go over to CTM Podcast on YouTube and you check out video versions of the show over there. And of course, you're listening on good old trusty audio podcast form. You can find us on all the major platforms. We're on there. And if you're able to, please subscribe and leave us a review. We'd greatly appreciate that. Helps us continue to grow the show. And of course, if you want some fantastic theme park apparel, whether you're going to the parks or just something around the house, whatever you want to use it for, you can go check out Capture the Magic Apparel. And that is our apparel company where we print everything in-house. We ship it out to you. We design it ourselves. We don't use third-party printers, so it's very high quality. Shirts that will last you years. You can multiple wears before those things will wear out. I have some shirts that are just now starting to wear out after 5 years.
Nice.
And I wear them a lot. So I am a t-shirt snob, admittedly so. So they're very comfortable shirts. The prints are very high quality. And we have some brand new designs. We have some new Epic Universe release you can check out. We have the Manor, Isle of Berk, Super Nintendo World. You can check out all those designs over at ctmapparelco.com. And if you use the promo code, I know this is very inventive, June, you'll get 20% off of your order. And plus, if you order $49 or more, you get free shipping on top of that. So head over to ctmapparelco.com and use the promo code June to get 20% off of your order. So, all right. Well, the first thing we're going to talk about is Halloween Horror Nights news.
Woo-hoo.
So we finally got some information about this. I think it was delayed due to Epic Universe because typically we've heard about the houses before this date. But I think they wanted to save the news cycle for the Epic Universe opening and all that stuff, which makes complete sense.
Yeah.
So got quite a bit of stuff here about Halloween Horror Nights. So the first one is we have some ticket and tours information that are now on sale.
Yeah, so as a reminder, this seasonal event, Halloween Horror Nights 34, it runs August 29th through November 2nd this year. Single day tickets range from $83 per person to $123 per person, depending on the night. Express passes start at $140 per person. That's a $10 increase from last year. RIP tours, and those are the tours that it's basically like a VIP tour, but during Halloween Horror Nights. That starts at $370 per person, and that's a $10 increase from last year. Then you have the Unmasking the Horror tour, and that is where you do a lights on tour of 3 or 6 houses during just like regular park hours. And that's pretty, we did that last year. We actually really liked that.
We did. And
the 3 house tour starts at $85 per person, and the 6 house tour starts at $170 per person. And both of those were a $10 decrease from last year.
It is not often you hear about a decrease.
Not often.
In theme park prices.
Yes. We also know that the Scream Early ticket, that's the ticket that you can use to get into the park after 3 p.m., but get into the Scream Early like areas, like the, what do they call them? Not the scare zones,
like
but
the queues kind of.
Yeah, like the holding areas.
The holding pen, like your cattle.
Exactly. So that's the extra like add-on you can do, plus your extra ticket or your Halloween Horror Nights ticket to be able to get in early. I know if you're an AP, if you're an annual pass holder, or you have day tickets for that day, you do not have to buy this Scream Early ticket. If you're already in the park, it's fine. But yeah, so those are the tickets that are available right now, as well as Premium Scream Night is coming back. And that was first out last year. That was the first year they did it, right?
Correct.
And that takes place August 28th, the day before it officially starts. And that is $375 per person. And this is basically like a very short crowds. They provide food for you. You get to wear costumes. It's like the one you would go to just to get like the maximum experience, from what I understand. It's
kind of like an after hours event for Halloween Horror Nights, but like you get the food, there's less crowds, you don't need the express pass. So it's a little bit more expensive than a regular ticket and the express pass, but you have, I'm going to say you're probably going to have a much better experience.
Right.
Just because you're not going to have as many people around.
Right. I mean, when you think about it, like if you really want to wear a costume, this would be the time to do it. And with all the food that's included, plus you have basically an express type of experience and the tickets for the event, $375 per person is actually not terrible.
It could be much worse.
It could be much worse because if you think like, let's say you're buying a single day ticket and it's $120. Let's say you're $120. You buy the express pass. That's $140. That's $260 right there, or $260 right there. Plus all of the food you might eat and all the drinks you might get. You'd be at $300 plus right there anyway.
Yeah.
So really, like if you were planning on going to Halloween Horror Nights during a busy night, going to get express pass, and you're gonna try some food and drinks and stuff, look into Premium Scream Night if you want to go, in August.
We probably won't do it this year. I would like to do it sometime though.
I would too.
I think it sounds really cool. Now, the only thing that's not included, alcoholic beverages are not included in this, so that would be extra, but they have non-alcoholic beverages and select food. Yeah, it says select food and non-alcoholic beverages.
Got it.
So,
okay.
But if you want beer and alcohol, obviously, I don't think you get a discount on that. They typically don't discount alcohol at all on things. Most places don't. Even like if you're a employee, like a team member, you don't even get discounts on alcohol in the parks.
Yeah.
Which is kind of interesting. But
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, listen, Premium Scream, if you look at the prices, I mean, $83 to $123 per person for how long Halloween Horror Nights is and all the things that are available, I still will contend is a really solid value for an extra add-on party in a theme park.
I mean, I know. Yeah. Like last year, the starting price was the same.
It was $83 last year. I think the up-in price is a little bit more.
Okay.
But I mean, it's, as you get closer to Halloween, those get a little bit more expensive. But I mean, when you compare it to some of the other Halloween parties out there, I'm not going to name any, off the top of my head, but I would say you get a lot more, bang for your buck per hour and all the things going on. And the fact, too, that it's like a fresh new event each year. So there's always things to go check out. So,
and like if you're an AP, this year you have to make reservations if you want to use your free ticket night.
If you're an annual Premier Pass holder, because you get a complimentary Halloween Horror Nights ticket.
I missed the Premier part. Yes. If you're Premier, if you are wanting to do Halloween Horror Nights, you have to make a reservation for the night you're going to go. Years past, you could just show up whatever day you want to choose. And I think this is better, though, because that way they can be prepared.
Well, I think, and I some people were kind of complaining about this, but I remember the first year I went, because you'd been going to Halloween Horror Nights before me, and I was like, what do I need to do? And you're like, just like a normal park day, go in. It's like, you don't have to make a reservation. You're like, no. So I always figured it would have made sense to say, okay, this is when I'm claiming my free ticket, because on any given night, you have no clue as the amount of annual pass holders that are going to show up to this, which could obviously cause overcrowding. So one of the biggest issues Halloween Horror Nights has had as it's gotten more popular is the wait times and just how crowded these events are. So this very well could be a move to try and cap that to where it has a better experience for everybody, because you just, there's only so many slots, I'm going to guess, per night that you can use your complimentary ticket. Yeah. So that could help with wait times. Now, there was a rumor that there was going to be 12 houses this year on Universal's site. They're saying 10. So this could be they're trying this first to see how the crowds are, and if they're still jam-packed, still a lot of wait times, then maybe next year they may do 12 houses. Because I think they eventually do move to 12. I think it has gotten that popular. The only thing that would help is like if they didn't increase the capacity along with 12, which that would be the risk that they would. But I'm really looking forward to Halloween Horror Nights.
I am too. The only thing I will say, if you are planning on going this year, and really every other year, I would say the same thing, try to go on a Thursday or a Wednesday or a Thursday or a Sunday night. Try to avoid Fridays and Saturday nights, because unless you're wanting just to be around a lot of teens, because the youths will invade this place Fridays and Saturday nights mostly. And
we'll talk about in a minute, one of the houses this year I think is going to lead to a lot more of the younger crowd coming in, which there have been issues with the teens and younger crowd in terms of even some of them striking scare actors and team members and just causing problems. I haven't heard it peep this year, but I do wonder if this continues. Universal may end up going to some policy that you've seen in other theme parks where if you're under 18, you got to have somebody like a chaperone with you or something like that, because it's usually these roaming groups of teenagers are causing some issues.
It's the parents that drop them off and say, go have fun, I'll pick you up at 2.
Right.
And they don't.
I didn't even listen, I was a stupid teenager at one point, but my thing is too, I didn't like teenagers or college kids when I was a teenager or a college kid. So I've been very consistent on my viewpoints on this in terms of the rowdiness, but obviously, you want the younger crowd to come in, you do certain things for them, but you also don't want their activities to impede the experience of everybody else.
Right.
So it's not that they're all doing it, but there have been a lot more increased issues over the years with this. So I am wondering if they implement something this year to try and stem that off, perhaps. But
if you go on a Wednesday, you'll just see a bunch of young adults, and it's just basically adults. You won't see any kids,
and your chances
really
of having a lesser crowded experience are going to be better on weeknights or like on Sundays and stuff. So I think any night's going to be probably pretty crowded, but it may not be as bad of some of those. But
I think so.
But yeah, we did Unmasking Horror last year. We enjoyed that a lot. It was if you're into these houses, it's really neat behind the scenes look. Kind of how all the work that goes into all these things, like it's almost like a movie set.
Yeah, I liked it. I would definitely do it again because it was great.
Now we did the one last year before Halloween Horror Nights started.
So last year was the first year they did that.
Yeah. Would you recommend doing it that way, or doing it like going to Halloween Horror Nights first and then doing
the tour? Ooh.
Because I feel like it didn't like ruin the experience for me. But there was no real surprise because you knew what to expect. Like when you walk through those houses, you do see where all the scare actors are. Like you kind of see what's coming.
So I think I liked doing it before, only because there were some things that they pointed out that I would have missed.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of story elements that you're not going to get. Like that's the thing about that.
It goes so fast.
You're
like,
they'll go really in depth on the story in the background, and when you just walk through those houses, you don't pick up on a lot of that.
I know. You have to walk really slowly or just kind of constantly looking around you. So going through the houses before we went on an actual night, I think helped me.
Okay.
I don't know.
I mean, I enjoyed it either way. And like, it's probably surprising. Like, I hate the horror genre. Like, I hate horror movies, but I have really come to enjoy Halloween Horror Nights. It's a very unique, like, kind of one-of-a-kind experience.
Yeah.
And, not every house is, like, horror-based. There obviously are plenty of those, but I do enjoy it. It sounds strange. And OG55 is the same way out on his YouTube channel. He's like, I'm not really big into horror, but he loves Halloween Horror Nights now. So I don't think I'm the only one that feels that way. But Jamie is the OG veteran, though.
I guess I am.
Halloween Horror Nights. Because you've been going, what? This is your 5th year?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, it's my 5th year.
Okay.
Yeah.
This will be my 3rd. So.
All right.
But I think this first year I went, I didn't get a really good experience because I went with some friends.
Yeah.
And it was not a planned thing very well at all. So last year was like the first year I did it with you, where it was like, we had a plan. I look at this as like my 3rd one, but it's kind of really my 2nd one in a way.
Okay.
But all right. Well, speaking of Halloween Horror Nights, we also have our first house announcement, as well as another one here. But the first announcement is that a Fallout house is coming based on season 1 of the TV show, not the video game, because the show was based off of a video game, but they're doing the house that is based on the show that was based off of a video game.
There you go. You got it.
Yeah.
You got it. So from the website, this is kind of what it says it's going to be. It's time to face the fallout. Face your fears and post-apocalyptic LA. Devastated by nuclear war based on the hit show and game franchise Fallout, you'll travel into the vaults and be attacked by raiders alongside Lucy. You'll escape to the wasteland and confront the bounty hunter, the Ghoul. You'll even encounter Maximus with the Brotherhood of Steel and see T-60 power armor. Now, this is the show with Walter Goggins, right?
It is the show with Walter.
Okay.
Walter Goggins.
It's not Groggins.
It's Goggins.
Okay.
Because they had that commercial
really?
called Goggins Goggles.
Oh my gosh, you're right. That's true.
And I love, by the way, he's kind of blown up recently, but I loved him on like Justified. Like he's been around for a
swagger.
bit.
He's got a thing. Yeah.
He's a good actor. But
he's a good actor.
Now, do you know anything about Fallout?
I don't. I just
Okay.
know that it's all like nuclear war stuff.
Yeah.
And it's set in the 50s.
Yeah. So it's an interesting. I played the game a little. I'm not a big Fallout. Like I think I played Fallout 2, I think. But yeah, it's got this 1950s vibe in a post-apocalyptic landscape, which is kind of interesting.
Right.
And then you've got these vaults. You've got people that have been, disfigured and mutant powers and things like that in here. So it's a very interesting idea for a haunted house. And that T-60 armor is kind of like, it's like a mech suit. And apparently there were some of the guys behind Halloween Horror Nights were on, I think they were on with IGN, and they were saying there's a little bit difference. They're doing this in Hollywood and in Universal Orlando. There's going to be slight differences. And the one, they did say there's going to be a fully like animatronic mech suit though.
Ooh.
Which is a kind of cool aspect of it. But I actually think this sounds pretty cool. I love when they do the video game stuff. Back when they did The Last of Us based off the video game like 2 years ago. That was a cool house. So I like this. I think that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
I think you'll like it too. Like
the 1950s, the nuclear war. I'm excited. For this one. Yeah.
Kind of brings that like spooky, eerie vibe being like 1950s. I like stuff based like not modern day.
Yeah.
As time has gone on, I kind of like when you take a time period and it's like 1920s, 30s, 40s, or 50s or something where you don't have all this technology.
Yeah.
And then you kind of base like an event around it. I think it kind of opens you up to like different things you can do. But I think that'll be a very, very popular house.
Yeah, for sure.
So, and then speaking of that, another announcement is Five Nights at Freddy is going to be present at Halloween Horror Nights this year, but it doesn't seem like it's going to be for a house.
And that's Five Nights at Freddy's.
What did I say?
Freddy.
I thought I said Five Nights at Freddy's.
You said Five Nights at Freddy.
Sorry, Five Nights at Freddy's, which is
that's fine.
Also a video game.
And I know all about this.
And also a movie. Yeah, you do know a lot about this.
I know this. So yeah, this was a movie, but before it was a video game. It's basically like Freddy Fazbear, I think is his name. He owns a Chuck E. Cheese type place, and you are playing as a security guard, and you have to, like, you're basically told that sometimes the animatronics come alive at night. And basically you have to, like, you have to escape them. Like they can't like attack you or
I think
you
we've
die.
all had this nightmare. I've had this nightmare about Country Bear Jamboree ever since it's been around. It's been like these things will come to life and come after you.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like it's interesting, but it's kind of suspenseful. I think it's kind of scary as you're playing.
Well, and this has a massive cult following.
Yeah.
Especially amongst the younger crowd, because you had the game, then the movie was very successful. So this is what I was saying. This house in particular, I think it's going to bring in even more young people. So like that's why I was saying some of these issues that come up with that crowd. Like I don't know if they'll do anything about it, but yeah, I think if you're there on a Friday or Saturday night, you are going to see a ton of people about this. Now, I don't believe it's going to be a house because they have listed on the houses. They only had officially announced Fallout, and they don't have Five Nights at Freddy's on there as a house. I think this will be some sort of interactive maze.
Like Scare Zone?
It could be. They haven't said. They just said it is going to be present.
I'm interested on that.
I mean, if it is a scare zone, that would be kind of interesting.
Yeah.
And it also opens you up to like these, like the animatronics in the game and the movie are like sort of, they're not like super smooth. Like they're kind of old and rickety.
Yes.
So it kind of gives you like a cool, like a eerie vibe about that as well. And Universal's very good with props and stuff like that for Halloween Horror Nights.
Yeah.
So I'm very curious as all the stuff they do with that. But
yeah, it'll be good. But all the other ticket types will be released soon. Like the multi-day tickets or like frequent fear passes, stuff like that will be released soon. But they're never released with the single day tickets and stuff. So
yeah, and there's
hold
still
on to your horses.
Yeah, there's still a lot more announcements to come about Halloween Horror Nights because you're going to have 9 more house announcements, the scare zones and things like that. So
and they'll slowly do it over the summer. So
yeah, well, do you talk about the dates when it starts?
Yeah, so again, it starts August 29th and runs through November 2nd.
Yeah,
so
I think we'll probably get all the house announcements by July easily. They may do it all this month.
Nah.
You don't think so?
No, it'll take longer than that. Yeah, I believe.
Okay.
Yeah, I think we'll have them all before August.
Well, I would hope so.
Yeah.
August 29th. They're like, oh, by the way, here you go.
No.
Yeah. Well, there's going to be a Universal Monsters house. There's original IP houses.
They did Universal Monsters last year.
They do it almost every year.
Right, but like, I guess they could, but I don't know if they will.
I just think with Dark Universe and all the momentum with Universal Monsters, I feel like they're probably going to do it. But I could be wrong.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
That would be my guess. But that's everything we know about Halloween Horror Nights thus far. But there will be plenty more. And the next bit of news we talked about before, Hollywood Rip Ride Rockit is closing. Now, originally Universal had said the early part of September. And then they came back and apparently revised that and said it is going to be closing officially August 18th.
Yeah. So, Rip Ride Rockit, when was it built? It was like early 2000s, maybe?
It's been around for 20-ish years. So, yeah, I think somewhere around there.
I personally am not sad to see it go. That's one of those that I never rode. I think I did it one time. And I was like, I'm good. But I know it's popular and everything. And it'll be kind of weird, though, because usually rides like this one and Green Gots and Transformers, Mummy, etc. are all open during Halloween Horror Nights. And this year, we won't have that one. So
correct.
I'm curious to see what the wait times will be for the other rides.
Yeah.
I know the wait times don't get super high during Halloween Horror Nights, but they do. I mean, they do climb up there. So I don't know.
Yeah, typically.
I don't know.
And obviously, there's a lot of speculation around what is going to replace Rip Ride Rockit.
Yeah.
They haven't come out and said what it's going to be. Potentially, though, we do have some Easter eggs as to what could be replacing this. Now, I think a lot of people pointed to Fast and Furious because you look at Halloween or Hollywood, Universal Studios Hollywood is getting the new Fast and Furious drift coaster out there.
Yeah.
So a lot of people have assumed maybe they would do the same, it wouldn't be the same ride track, but a similar type of drift Fast and Furious coaster out here. I've heard from some people that is something they're looking at doing potentially, but they already have construction walls up around the track near the old Ghostbusters firehouse, which is in the New York section next to Jimmy Fallon. And on that wall is a sign. And it says, Historic Preservation Act, Save New York's Treasures, Restoration of the Historic Engine 89 Firehouse. Now, if you don't understand what that means, the old 89 Firehouse is the old Ghostbusters firehouse that was there when they had the Ghostbusters Spooktacular. And this was a show that went on the early 90s. And there's obviously been a lot of speculation and talk about potentially, Universal leaning a lot into the nostalgia of, say, Back to the Future, Ghostbusters, Beetlejuice, like a lot of these retro franchises that have been part of the Mega Movie Parade. And like, obviously, if you look out in the Fan Fest and Universal, that one basically was heavily featuring Back to the Future as like the main selling point. You look at Universal Studios UK Park, having a Back to the Future land over there. A lot of people are looking at this and wondering, does this mean Ghostbusters is going to be the theme of this new coaster that's replacing Rip Ride Rocket?
Ooh. I don't know.
I think there's along with that, you had that show up, which, okay, maybe that's just, it could be a nod to what was there before. It could mean nothing. But at the same time, Universal Orlando actually had a post on Twitter X on June 6th. And it said, "We ain't afraid of no ghost. Read about the Ghostbusters legacy through the years at Universal Orlando Resort." Around the same time, these construction walls went up.
So it might be also, too, because I think it was today or yesterday is Ghostbusters Day.
Right. But then at the same time that's showing up, like these could be breadcrumbs about what's coming. I mean, it could be nothing. But I think if you look at everything Universal's doing, and I've been saying for a long time, and obviously there's proof of this with the Universal UK Park, that any theme park company was willing to go build an attraction or land based off an older IP, I think it would be Universal, as I think it would be one of those, like if you look at a lot of the Universal crowd, they've been really into this retro stuff. I think there's a decent shot it could be Ghostbusters, because the other thing that lends to this case is Rip Ride Rocket and this whole area over here is in the New York section, and Fast and Furious is not based in New York. Now, that doesn't mean they couldn't write a story to make it include in that. And you also look to at, I think whatever goes in here is going to tell us a little bit about future stuff that goes into the parks, because if this is Fast and Furious that they put on this coaster, that also almost undoubtedly means Supercharged is going away. So then that would tell us there's other things, and at least that one there. But if it isn't Fast and Furious, that means, okay, does Supercharged stay? And Universal has said there's other things, more announcements are on the way. So there's just a lot of questions about what this could be. But I think if this is Ghostbusters that goes in here, I don't think this would be the only retro attraction that they would introduce. Because I really think Back to the Future has a bigger following than Ghostbusters does with this stuff. So I think if this is Ghostbusters, we could see also something being announced for Back to the Future as well. At least I hope. I think it could be, but
I hope so. That would be great for me.
I would love it. I mean, I think it would be great. And we also kind of have an idea. I think and I'll overlay this on top of here. We do know this is going to be an Intamin roller coaster, which is a ride manufacturer Universal likes to work with. They did Hagrid's, they did Hiccup's Wing Gliders. There's a new Intamin coaster that has the same very narrow footprint. It has that same vertical launch thing as well. So it almost could be an homage, if you will, to Rip Ride Rocket, having that same element, just a newer coaster. So I think this could be the coaster track that goes in there. That footprint almost looks like it was made for this, very narrow and long. So I don't know when we'll hear from Universal about this. Like sometimes they don't say anything for a while.
Yeah.
And we may find out, in a year or a few months, or they could come out and say something. So I don't know. That was just my speculation on that signage there, that it could be Ghostbusters.
Okie dokie.
But ultimately we don't know.
Yeah, we don't know.
Yeah. So. All right, next bit of news we have is Dark Universe has now been added to the early park admission for Epic Universe.
Yeah, so it was Super Nintendo World and Stardust Racers in Celestial Park. Now it has been included as well, Dark Universe. So you can ride Minecart Madness, Mario Kart, Stardust Racers, Curse the Werewolf, and Monsters Unchained.
Constellation Carousel also.
Oh, and I didn't know that was open too. Okay.
Yep.
All right.
They added that in there as well.
Well, there you go. So there's a lot of rides for early entry.
Yeah, I think if you look at Epic, they're still trying to figure out, obviously, the capacity of that park is kind of ever-changing.
Yeah.
Wait times thing. I think they're still trying to figure out, if it were my guess, as to maybe take some pressure off of Super Nintendo World. Because I think most people, early entry and first people coming to the park that are not early entry, Super Nintendo World is going to be very, very popular. And so right off the bat in the morning, that land is just slammed with people. Yeah. So the more things you open up here can relieve some pressure off of that. So Dark
I get
Universe,
that.
more of Celestial Park and things like that. So I think that's probably the move, is to try and help with that.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But yeah, I mean,
Makes sense.
I do wonder if at some point they just open up the whole park early.
Yeah. I mean they could and just say like, hey, if you're not if you're not early entry, you can get into Celestial Park, but that's it.
Yeah, well, and there's some people that have said on certain days that they've been letting people in early, like Isle of Burke as well, and Ministry Match. So I don't know if this is something they may just play with this a little bit on day to days and just say, hey, you can go to basically into these things and see how that helps.
I wonder if it's like because the line to get into the portals is like backed up to the front and they're just like, oh, we need to open it.
It could be, and if you look at too, if you open it up, I mean, you can sell merchandise and food and drink items.
Yeah.
Before, I mean, it gives people opportunity to buy more stuff, roam around a little bit more. But I kind of think they're just tinkering because, again, they're still trying to figure this park out. Like, and one of the things I had heard, one of the reasons they went lower capacity in the beginning was they still don't know how most people flow through this park.
Right.
And they're just trying to figure that out, and then just see, okay, where are bottlenecks? How does this relieve a bottleneck? Does this help with it? So they're still figuring this park out a lot, but. Yeah, I think this is a very fluid situation in terms of early entry, in terms of like what will be available. But I think it's a good move to open that up, especially if you're not an early entry guest and you want to go to Super Nintendo World. I think this is good news for you because that could help with the early influx of people that go to Super Nintendo World.
Oh yeah, for sure. Like especially Minecart, oof, it gets busy very fast.
I mean, Yoshi sometimes will give me 60-minute wait.
That's crazy.
I mean, I will say right now that ride's not worth 60-minute wait.
I mean, I agree.
But yeah, but that's going on in Dark Universe, or Epic Universe involving Dark Universe. And speaking of, I guess this would be a rumor that has come true, is that Hagrid's Magical Motorbike Adventure. What's the full name? Hagrid's Magical Creatures Motorbike Adventure.
Yes,
I think is the full name there. We just call it Hagrid's. Is now accepting Express Pass.
Yeah, that's exciting. It has affected the standby wait a lot. So if you are standby only and you go and that express pass is being used, you're going to wait longer. You're going to wait longer.
Yes, this will be very popular. I mean, we had talked about months ago how around when the Epic opened that the rumor was this was going to go into Express Pass because it's been open since 2019. It hasn't had any Express Pass, which is one of the longest ones of a new attraction that Universal typically does. It's like the newer, most popular attraction isn't included in Express Pass.
Right.
But I think part of it is this is still insanely popular, but now you have Epic Universe, a whole bunch of new rides, and also this will help them sell more Express Passes at Islands of Adventure, undoubtedly.
Right. And I think, too, it's a good idea. It might affect, like, so I know exactly where I can stand, like where I'm standing in the queue in the standby to know how long of a wait it'll be. Typically.
Right.
Like I've done it enough. Now I have no idea. So, I mean, I'm guessing that like you're going to be closer to the front, but you're going to wait the same amount as if you were standing back there because of Express, but
very possible.
Maybe it just the line won't seem as long because of that. You know what I mean? Like I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, obviously I'm excited for it because obviously being Premiere, we have Express Pass after 4.
We sure
so
do.
now we can utilize that,
which
can. I'm happy about because I want to ride this a lot more, but I don't always feel like waiting 90 minutes.
It is a little, it's a lot. It's a lot.
Now, I don't think this is going to be a walk-on if you're Express. I still think there's going to be a decent wait time there, but obviously a lot of people are going to use it on here.
Yeah.
Now, I do wonder if this has anything to do with, they did expand the maintenance area for Hagrid's because the rumor out there was that they never were able to get the full ride capacity going on this, as I think it was supposed to be like, whatever that number was, let's say it was 10, they were only able to get like 7 going at a time. Maybe they were able to get the capacity up high enough because we do know they expanded that maintenance bay area.
I think just waited till Epic opened.
Well, but if they're able to increase the capacity on this, then they feel more comfortable introducing Express to be able to handle more of the influx. It could be along with that and with Epic opening, but
that makes sense.
Either way, Hagrid's now offers Express Pass, so you can take advantage of that. So,
okie dokie.
All right, well, that's all the news that we have. So let's get to our discussion segment, which is we are going to rank all of the Epic Universe attractions. What we think about them. We each have our own list here.
There are 13 attractions, 11 rides, 2 shows. Now, we are not talking about like the fountains or anything like that. This is stuff that has either like showtime set or a posted wait time during the day.
Yes.
Is that fair?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So let's go backwards. We're going to start from our least favorite to our most favorite, or how we want to rank them, best to worst or worst to best.
Okay. Well, what's your number? Since there are 13 attractions in here, what is your number 13 attraction?
My number 13 is Yoshi's Adventure.
Okay.
Once you do this once, I don't need to do it again. You got the game with you're supposed to find the colors of the eggs as you go, and like it's really cool, but it's very short. Now I like the views into Super Nintendo World. That's not bad, and it's usually not a very long wait. Like during the day, I know you said it could get up to 60, but I just like this is one of those rides where like if someone said, "Do you want to go ride Yoshi's?" I'd be like, not really.
Outside of our children wanting to do
outside
it.
of our kids. But yeah, so I would put that as my least favorite.
My least favorite number 13, I'm going to say, is Fire Drill.
Oh, is this because of the because it's water?
Well, there's not much to this. Basically, it's a ride you're going to get soaked on, which
True.
I'm not a huge fan of getting wet outside of a water park necessarily, but it's a very simple. Just you've seen this ride in other parks. I'm pretty sure Silver City has this attraction. You shoot your water guns at targets. You shoot them at other boats. It's just not up my alley, and it's something that unless our kids really want to do it, I will probably never ride this again. Like I have no desire to do this again.
Okay.
So that's where I would put it. Is just number 13.
That's
it's
fair.
okay for what the ride it is. It's just not something that I'm drawn to.
Right. I understand that. My number 12 is Curse of the Werewolf. Simply because I just can't do this one. The spinning of the ride. I mean, I don't know if you guys listened to the last episode, but Jared described his spinning constantly on that ride over and over. And I'm just like, oh, I would be just on the floor.
You should probably put this as number 13 for you because you would die on this.
I mean, 12 and 13 are kind of interchangeable for me, but I put this just because like I like looking at it. I don't know. It is what it is. Hopefully, maybe one day I'll be able to ride it, but I doubt it.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
I don't think that would be advisable for you.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure you would be down for like a whole day, maybe a whole week after riding this. If you have motion sickness issues, this ride is not going to be kind to you.
That's true.
I'll talk about that in a moment because mine is not as low as Jamie's is. But
okay,
my number 12 selection is Yoshi's Adventure.
It's Yoshi's. Okay.
Same things you said. Now, the one thing it has going for it, it's in Super Nintendo World. You have the Nintendo theming. You have the characters. For me, liking Nintendo, there's still stuff in here that I'm like, oh, that's cool. But it's a very short, simple, slow-moving ride. Outside of our kids wanting to do it, I don't have any direct desire to do it. It's cute for what it is,
cute.
but it's not going to be the most thrilling by any means.
Okay. That's fair. My number 11 is Fire Drill. You had already discussed Fire Drill. This one is not something I want to do every time for sure. If it's really, really hot, a really hot day, I might not mind as much.
Yeah.
Because of the water.
True.
I don't want to get water sprayed in my face though. I don't like that. But it is a game, like hitting like the targets and everything. So that I like that a little bit, but again, it's in my bottom 3, so it's just not one that I would be clamoring to do every time. It's a hard skip for me.
That's fair. Yeah. Agreed there.
Yeah.
My number 11 is going to be Dragon Racers Rally. I think for a couple of reasons. It's an okay ride. It's not like, if you don't like heights, like it kind of goes up high, but it's a very short ride. It just has a swinging pendulum. You kind of go around. If you're good enough, you can make it spin to make it more thrilling, but very slow moving, very slow loading, very slow unloading, no express pass. Your wait times on here are going to be higher than what I don't think the ride justifies. And I think if it was like a 15-minute wait, I might go do it. But if it's like 30, 45-minute wait, I'm just not going to do this. And I don't think you're going to find this ride very low wait times for that reason. Because there's no other reason why it wouldn't accept Express Pass, except for the fact that it is a slow loading, not high capacity ride.
Yep.
So.
Yep.
And it's for me, I don't have any like major desire to do it again.
Yeah. It is fine. It's fine. It's actually my number 10. So the reason you just gave for putting it at number 11, same for number 10. Like it just, like no express, longer waits. It's short. Like once you load it
Very
in,
short.
do it. You go around what, like 6 times, 7 times? I don't even know. And it's just like, it's just fine. It's fine. Like if you can make the wings work for you, then it may be more thrilling. But like, I don't know. It's just very kid centric for me. And yeah, I don't have any desire to do it really.
Totally fair. My number 11, just because I'm not a coaster person, is Stardust Racers. I don't doubt this is a great coaster, but it's just not something that, for my level of roller coastering, that I'm interested in doing. So I'm just going to put it here just because I don't know if I'll ever ride it. I'm not a roller coaster person, so that's where I'll put it. But I don't have any doubt about the quality. I've heard really good things about it. You said it's great.
Mm-hmm.
So that's just where I'm going to put it, just on my list here.
Okay. Fair enough. My number 9 is the show Le Cirque Arcanu.
That's where I put that as well.
Oh, you put number 9 too?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So we saw this once. I think it was opening day. We saw this, and it's a cute show. It's it's based on a lot of the Fantastic Beasts stuff, and I haven't seen any of those movies, so I wasn't really familiar with what was going on. But it was visually very pretty, and it had a lot of cool effects. I thought that the actors were great, and it was a good show. But I mean, I don't think I wouldn't watch it every time.
Yeah, it does require you to really fully grasp it. You got to know a little bit about Fantastic Beasts. I also don't like circuses.
You do not like circuses.
So for me, the whole circus theme, I'm like, And now it does have high production value. It's a cool show. It's just not one where I would want to do this every time.
That's fair.
When doing it once, like, not that I'd never do it again. I'm just not, be like, oh my gosh, I got to go check out this show again. So
right.
I'm not a big show person, which may come as a surprise for another show. But yeah, what this one is, like, it's kind of short. It's not too long though, which I think it probably helps it. It does have some cool elements like the props and things, all that stuff. But in general, yeah, it's like, okay, one and done for a little bit for me.
Okay. Number 8 now?
Yes, you're number 8.
Number 8 for me is Minecart Madness. I think the idea for this ride and the whole jumping tracks thing and Donkey Kong, very cool. But already for me, this is a very jerky roller coaster. So I've done it twice. And again, it's just one of those where it's just like, yes, I'll do it. But like, I'm going and going, oh, this is so jerky. I'm not comfortable. That's why I put this as number 8. I don't know if you feel similar to me. You probably don't.
I didn't put it at number 8.
I know. I don't have as much nostalgia for you as you do. But it's just it's the jerkiness that gets me. I'm just like, whiplash. So
I mean, fair. It is not the smoothest coaster.
No.
But I didn't put it at 8. I'll talk about some of this where I put it. But yeah, I mean,
where did you put for number 8?
Number 8, I put Constellation Carousel. But my list is dependent. Constellation Carousel is a carousel. Mm-hmm. Very simple, but it is a very unique carousel. It's more like dancing on a platform. Very beautifully done. But if it's at night, I actually will bump this up to number 7, and my number 7 flips to 8. So I think during the daytime, I would say Constellation Carousel is number 8. If it's during the nighttime, that will flip, and I'll just kind of go to my number 7, which is Curse of the Werewolf. Those two will flip depending on the time of day.
So that's your number 7 is Curse?
Yeah, because the Constellation Carousel is beautiful at night, like gorgeous, because Celestial Park is absolutely amazing at nighttime. Like it's my favorite land at night ever.
Yeah,
it's Constellation Carousel, or is Celestial Park. And Curse of the Werewolf is, like you were saying, it spins a lot. You have no idea where you're at the entire time. Like when I was on that thing, I was by myself, and literally I had no clue where I was because I was just constantly spinning. And so, it's smooth. It's not very long. But if you have motion sickness issues, like, oh man, like I would just avoid it like the plague.
Okay. Yeah, I agree. I will never ride
You
this.
would not be able to stand up after this.
No, I wouldn't. But my number 7 is actually Constellation Carousel. Again, all the reasons that you said. It's a nice carousel during the day, beautiful at night. I love the almost floating aspect to the carousel. It feels very relaxing.
Well, the
guess.
music and the
Music,
props
the
around
lights.
it, the
Yeah.
center point of it all. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, it's got the stars on the ceiling, like
Yeah.
the fountains around you.
It's really cool. And it does get long waits at night though because of this reason. But yeah, it is my number 7. So it's smack dab in the middle. It's in the middle.
That is the downside. During the daytime you can walk right on this.
Yep.
But at night you are going to see much higher wait times.
Yes.
For that reason.
For a good reason.
Yeah. So, all right, we took care of our number 7, number 8. What is your number 6?
My number 6 is the Untrainable Dragon Show.
Okay.
I love this show. I love it. I love the fact that you can, first of all, there's a lot of actors. There's a lot of characters on the stage. I love that it, kind of tells the story of the movie, really. And our kids love it. The baby dragons, Toothless, should I do spoilers for this, or do you think I can tell?
What's a spoiler?
About what Toothless does?
No, I mean, I think it's known.
Okay. Well, I love the fact that Toothless and Hiccup are literally it looks like they're flying over the crowd or over the audience during the show. That's such a cool effect. And the music is great. It's really good show. It was very well put together. I know it's a transplant from Beijing, but it's still really good. And it's one of those shows where I would go back and do it, maybe not every time, but every other time maybe.
Yeah, so I actually put it at number 6 also. Okay. I'm not a show person. I'm just not. I love this show. The production value is super high. Like you were saying, the part with Hiccup and Toothless flying is so well done.
Yeah.
The story's cool. The visual elements, they have a mix of screens and props and the team members in there. There's a couple of guys that play Hiccup. One of them that is around a lot. He is almost like a dead on, just like the animated movies.
So good.
Looks like him, sounds like him. They did a great job casting him. I don't know what they're paying him, but they better make sure they keep paying him because he's very good.
Yeah.
And I would actually, every time I go to Epic, I would do this show. If someone's and again, I'm not a show person. It is my favorite theme park show I've ever seen.
Yeah.
I think it's better than the Festival of the Lion King, which I think used to be the best one to me.
Yeah.
I think it's that good. And our kids love it. It's very entertaining. It's not too long. It's got cool theming in there. You're sitting in the AC.
Yeah.
It's to me, it's a must-do show.
For real.
If you're going to go to Epic.
I agree. I wholeheartedly agree.
All right. What's number 5?
Well, now we're getting to the ones that I would do every single time I go. And my number 5 is Mario Kart Bowser's Challenge. And I put this as number 5 is one Rainbow Road. You see Rainbow Road in this. The coolest part of it. That was my favorite part. I like the way they use the way to track your points, through the little visor thing.
The augmented reality.
Thank you. I don't know the terms. Augmented reality glasses thing that you have, and then that's how you can see what you're shooting, the shells that you're shooting. I like that it changes every time, obviously, because your score can change every time. I like the merging of the physical effects with the augmented reality effects in your visor. I love that part. I think it's just a very, very cool ride. I know they have it in Hollywood. But
they also have it in Japan, too.
In Japan. But it's just really good. It's really good. I don't have anything bad to say about it. Even the queue is super cute.
I mean, the queue is one of the better parts of this ride. I also put it at number 5.
Oh.
I love Mario Kart. Been playing it my entire life.
Yeah.
If you're a fan of Nintendo Mario Kart, this queue is you go through Bowser's library, you go through his dungeon, you go through his rooms. You see a lot of the Easter eggs in there. So the queue itself, if you're a Nintendo fan, is cool to go through. The ride, at least for me, it's got repeatability because you can get your score. So I'm competitive, so I like that aspect of it. You obviously get to be part of Mario Kart, which is fun. It takes a few times to do it to kind of get used to where you're looking is where you shoot shells and things like that. But once you kind of catch on to that and you kind of figure that out, it's to me, it's a lot of fun. It's not the most amazing ride I've ever ridden, but for me, nostalgia, the competitiveness of it has a lot of rewritability. For me, I would do this every time. Now, I'm not willing to wait 90 minutes for this. Many times we'll get over 100-minute wait times for this. I don't think it's worth that. Not many rides ever are.
Right.
But I love this ride just due to my Nintendo bias. as do our kids like it as well. So I think it's a good fun ride. A lot of times this ride gets a lot of flack. I don't think it deserves a lot of flack. It's like I said, it's not the most amazing thing ever, but I think it is a lot of fun. And if you're into Nintendo and Mario Kart, you will enjoy this ride.
Yes.
All right, what's number 4?
My number 4 is Stardust Racers. So this feels very similar to Velocicoaster. People will often compare it to Velocicoaster. It only goes upside down once, I think. Only one time you go upside down. I think everything else is you're just kind of like twisted. It's very intense, and unfortunately for me, I can only do this occasionally, but it's really good. It's a really good roller coaster. So if you're a roller coaster person, this is an absolute must. Absolute must. And the fact that there's 2 lanes or there's 2 tracks and they are different. So you can have a very different experience going on the green track or the yellow track.
Okay.
So plus I haven't done it at night though, because the track isn't illuminated, just the vehicles. So they kind of look like shooting stars, if you will.
I imagine it's much more intense at night for that.
Oh,
reason.
for sure. You can barely see where you're going.
Yeah.
I think that would freak me out. But yeah, so it's one of the best roller coasters I've ever done, and that's why I put it at number 4.
And it also has a flux capacitor on the back.
It does. That makes it very good.
Some people
very
are trying
good.
to argue that having the flux capacitor on the back meant that Celestial Park and Stardust Racers is based on an IP. I'm like, no, it's just an Easter egg. It's just an illusion. You would only know that if you know Back to the Future. It doesn't have any part in the story of that ride other than it's just kind of a head, like a wink and a nod to if you're a fan of this to understand what it is.
Yep.
Because they don't mention it at all about the ride description or anything.
I don't think so.
But
I don't know.
it's kind of interesting. All right, number 4, I put Minecart Madness. I agree with what you're saying. It's not the smoothest ride, but if you're a fan of Donkey Kong and Nintendo, you get to jump the tracks like in Donkey Kong Country. You have the Donkey Kong theming. You got the sound effects. You shoot through a barrel. You jump over gaps in the track. You dip into the water. Like, it's got a lot of the elements I think are a lot of fun. Now, I will say it's smoother with a full cart full of people. When you ride it by yourself, which I did like right before the park closed when we were there on opening day, and man, it's jerky on your own. Like on your own, it's very jerky. It's still fun. I appreciate the, it's got the sidearm, which I think does lend to the roughness of it. So I enjoy the theming and the concept of this ride quite a bit. I do have questions about the longevity of this, given most coasters get rougher as time goes on.
Yeah.
And I don't know how this one is going to age. It's a very unique ride system.
Yep.
But for what it is and what they're going for and fitting into the land, I thoroughly enjoy it.
It's good. I wouldn't ride it every time. It's too jerky.
It does tend to get a high wait times. It doesn't have a high ride capacity. It doesn't move a lot of people through it. You only have 4 people per cart. So the wait times here get up there and there's no express pass with it.
Yeah.
And sometimes it does break down. So it is one of those where I would probably knock this out earlier in the day, maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe. I don't know. It depends on if you're early entry or not. But
Right.
it can see some pretty high wait times.
That's true.
So
That is true.
all right, let's move into the top 3.
Top 3.
What is your number 3?
My number 3 is Hiccups Wing Gliders.
Mine too. I think our top 3s are going to be the same.
I cannot explain to you how adorable this roller coaster is. We call it Baby Hagrid's. It's the same company that made both those coasters. Wing Gliders is just a little less intense. It doesn't go as fast, but it's still super enjoyable. And like, we rode it at night last time we rode it. We rode it twice, like 2 times in a row. And at night, it's awesome. Beautiful views of the park.
Yeah, you get some cool views of the park.
It's great. And I do like the fact that as with Hagrid's, there is a commentary. There's like a narration of the story going on as you're in there. You can hear Hiccup talking. And then there's music with it too. Like, so you're hearing music from the movie as you're going through the roller coaster. It's just so cute. It's so cute. I would do that over and over again. And it doesn't bother me. Like, it doesn't bother my head or anything. So that's why it's my number 3.
You took all my talking points.
I'm sorry.
I don't know where else to add about it.
I'm so sorry.
It's very smooth. It's a lot more It's not as thrilling as Hagrid's, but it's more thrilling than I think most people think.
Yeah.
The closest comparison would probably be to Slinky Dog Dash in Hollywood Studios, but I think this is a better ride, and I think it's more intense than Slinky Dog Dash. Because it does have, while it's not as intense, it does have some, you do get going pretty quick on a couple of these launches. So, like, doesn't go upside down. The part where you kind of dip into the water is a lot of fun. And I love the music on this.
Yeah.
And I know this sounds crazy, but Universal plays the music from the movies they base these rides and lands on. I know that sounds crazy, but they do that, and it helps with the immersion, and I think it adds something to the ride.
I love that. I love that they do that.
And How to Train Your Dragon is a great soundtrack.
Oh
So
my
it is like
gosh.
fantastic to have in this ride. It's almost like,
It is so, dare we say, epic?
I'm not going to say that.
Fine.
I was going to say inspirational.
Oh, that too.
But if you will, no, it's a good ride. I love it. I would ride this every single time. We rode it like 3 times on opening day. This one, I think as time goes along, it's probably going to end up having pretty high wait times just because word is kind of out about this. I've been saying the whole time during construction that this would be sort of like a hidden, not a hidden gem, but I think it was going to get overlooked due to probably the other 2 rides that we're going to talk about. But I think a lot of people will come to realize this is a very solid coaster. Again, made by Intamin, who made Hagrid's. They're also making the Rip Ride Rocket replacement. So it is a company Universal likes to work with, and they make very good coasters. So
It's true.
all right, let's move on to the top 2. And I think we have the same ones here. Well, okay, my number 2 is Monsters Unchained. Now this...
Yeah, same.
I had this at number 1 before I rode the other one, which we'll talk about. This is probably the best dark ride I've ever ridden. The immersion of this with the screens, the animatronics, the KUKA arm system, it's such a fantastic ride. There's so many things going on. The first time I rode this, I'm sure my mouth is just like, what? Like I was trying to figure out like the size and scale of all these things, the story. It's not scary. I think kids could find this scary because it's got some darker elements to it.
Yes, it would be scary for kids.
But I don't find it scary. I find it fun, and the animatronics are like lifelike looking, and the way they blend the animatronics with the screens, it's kind of hard to tell where the screens stop, the animatronics begin. It's almost the same thing with the other one, Ministry of Magic. We'll talk about. It's almost like 3D without the 3D glasses.
Yeah,
and it is everything with it. I love this ride. It's great, and the good thing about this, it moves people through it. It's a people eater attraction. You won't see this thing get super insane wait times just because it probably moves the most people through it per hour of any ride in the park.
Yes. I love the queue as well, like the being in the manor.
Queue is great.
It tells its own story. It's a wonderful. And the whole KUKA arm thing that they use, like they do in Forbidden Journey, I thought it would make me sick, but it doesn't. I mean, I'm fine on it.
You can tell it's an upgraded version because it's much smoother, not as jerky.
Yes.
And I also think for you in the motion sickness, you're not in Forbidden Journey. They take you and they plop you down into like these domed screens.
Yeah.
And this one, they don't do that.
Thank goodness.
So I think that helps people with motion sickness because it doesn't seem as like forced immersion into like a screen that's trying to make you feel like you're there.
Yes. And I love all the physical effects. I love the animatronics. There's a lot, and they're all really good.
Even in the pre-show, you got Dr. Victoria Frankenstein and Frankenstein's monster there.
It's so good. I mean, Frankenstein, like I said, Frankenstein monster, he literally walks.
Yes.
He walks up like, holy crap. Anyway, so yeah, it's my number 2. There are certain things about that ride that having ridden it a couple times where we have discussed this before on the show, where we just kind of like, we noticed some things we're just like, that could be tweaked. We could work on that. But for the most part, it's such a good ride, and I don't care.
Well, yeah, my biggest gripe is you can literally see a curtain and a concrete floor and folding chairs that have been there since previews, and I don't know why they haven't been moved.
I don't know.
Now, even with that said, I think it could also be a little darker in there because I think if it was a little darker, you wouldn't be able to see some of like the ride effects that are going on below you, like the KUKA arms and things like that. But even with that, it is a fantastic ride. The queue, the show building, the manor is probably, if not one of the best ride like building queues you'll see, just in terms of like the manor itself being there.
It's awesome.
And like kind of the center point of Dark Universe.
Yeah.
And seeing that thing at night, like at nighttime, again, Dark Universe needs to be experienced at night.
Yeah.
You've got that pulsating electricity on the outside, and also in the queue, you see it all throughout the entire queue of like essentially all this energy and electricity is going toward what you're about to get on. Kind of adds to the element of that.
Yeah.
And I think the queue is very similar. It's like they took elements from Halloween Horror Nights and kind of put it into the queue a little bit. Mm-hmm. So it's not as scary as going through, obviously, a haunted house or something like that, but they have some elements that are kind of like that as well. So, great. One of the best theme park attractions ever made.
Agreed.
Undoubtedly.
Agreed.
And shockingly, it's not our number 1.
No.
Because what is both of our number ones, Jamie?
Harry Potter and the Battle of the Ministry. And we've only done this once, but it was enough to say, oh my goodness, what did we just witness? If you ask me the best queue I've ever seen for a theme park attraction, Battle of the Ministry, number one, no contest.
Yeah, it's not even really close.
It's not close at all. Like, and again, if you go back and listen to the reviews we've done about Epic Universe, you know what we're going to say. But this is literally like, it feels to scale the Ministry of Magic. Like, if you like, you're stepping into the movies, like you're going through the Flu Network, you're in Battle of Ministry, like the huge, like, it's not like a lobby. I guess it's a lobby.
It would be the lobby.
Okay, the lobby with like the statues in the middle, the like dark green flooring and walls, the offices on the side, like it's all there. And every single room you go into is so heavily themed. You go into Dolores Umbridge's office even, and there's meowing cats on the wall. You are entering a room with all the former headmasters who are talking back and forth about what's going on with the trial, about the ride. I mean, you're just going deeper and deeper into the Ministry, and then you get on the ride, and you're essentially in an elevator. And I'm not gonna. I don't want to spoil it.
Well,
I feel like I don't
we don't spoil anything. The ride itself, you're obviously the whole purpose of the ride, and the reason the queue is there is you're there for Dolores Umbridge's trial. So it's very unique in terms of it's an immersive thing in that like you're in line for a ride, but in this world, everyone's in line to go see Dolores Umbridge's trial. It is that popular of a thing to see. So it's like kind of a meta thing where you're in. It makes sense from the story element why all these people would be there.
Right.
So that's the whole goal. You get on the elevator and then obviously things happen. But I will just say about this ride, the queue and everything, is the scale of it all. It is nuts. How big the queue is, how big the ride building is. You constantly like, it's not as if you're going up and down an elevator. It's like you're floating constantly, like you're in a wizarding elevator. The animatronics in here, like the first scene you come into, you're just like, what in the world? Mm-hmm. Like it's so big. The animatronics look like people. They move like humans. I mean, if you were to tell me that was a person in a costume, I would probably believe you.
Yep. And
it's got different. Now it has a lot of. Some people criticize it for using screens, but obviously using these actors in here, they're going to have screens. But the mix of screens with the animatronics, I think, is insanely well done.
Yeah.
The scale, the ambition of this ride, the story that's in the ride as well. There's some really cool scenes in here with some of these characters from Fantastic Beasts. You got a scene in the time room where kind of time's like disintegrating. There's some really cool visuals in here, and it's not like the queue is amazing. The ride itself is right on par with the queue.
Yeah.
And it's fantastic. Like I got off and all we want to do is do it again.
Yep.
Like, so from beginning to end, it's a fantastic immersive experience.
Absolutely. Like honestly, Monsters Unchained and Battle of Ministry are very close, at least for me. Very close. But Battle of Ministry just a little bit more because I'm more familiar with Harry Potter in general. I don't know, just like the execution of the ride, basically, and the interconnectedness of the physical effects and the screens and the use of AI to put the characters' voices and faces and all that stuff. Like it just worked, and it's just so you're just so like there's so much going on. There's so much going on. Like, what are we doing? What's happening? We're constantly moving, and like the ride ends, you're like, okay, I have to think about what I just did. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's just let's decompress. And again, similar situation with Monsters Unchained, but it's not quite as an intensive experience, at least in my opinion.
You can tell in Ministry of Magic, I mean, there's only one ride in a show in that land, and all the money went to that ride.
Yeah.
I would imagine that ride alone was well over $1 billion, if I were to guess.
Goodness gracious.
So when you go through here, and it's very similar to Rise of the Resistance in Hollywood Studios, I get why this thing breaks down all the time.
Yeah.
Because there's so many different elements to this. Now I do think there's one part where we're supposed to have a little bit of a drop. I do think that has been nerfed. I think that was causing some issues with the sensors.
Yeah.
They're still working through this ride to get it more reliable, but it also helps too. You don't have the virtual queue with this anymore. It's just a standby. But yeah, Monsters Unchained and also Battle of the Ministry are two of the best theme park attractions ever built.
Yeah.
in a brand new park. I mean, those are great headlining attractions for a theme park. And Hiccups Wing Gliders, not insane in terms of what it does necessarily, but a very solid ride.
Yeah.
That, again, I would ride constantly. So there's a lot of attractions in this park that are just world class. I guess I put it that way.
Yeah. They're wonderful. And I mean, our top 3 definitely are contenders for some of the best theme park rides ever.
Yeah, I mean, you can make an argument some of them are in the top 10.
6 even.
Yeah, I mean, they're great. So, yeah, I agree. Our top 3, I completely agree on.
As you know, we love this park. We love talking about it. And we'll do some more epic episodes like coming up here. We'll kind of deep dive more into each of the lands and kind of just like go through like what you can do and like what's in it. And because we've covered the rides a lot and we've talked about some of the food and just the vibe and everything, but we'll go more into depth about what is all in each land.
Yeah, I think we'll also do next upcoming episode about the best like rope drop strategy.
Yeah,
I think like it's still evolving. Like we were going to do that, but it's still one of those things trying to work through. But I think I have a pretty good idea of at least some decent options from either you're staying on a Universal property or if you're a date, you're just coming in for the day.
Yeah,
best ways to try and get everything done here in the park. But yeah, no, listen, I love Epic Universe. It's a fantastic park. I don't know where I would rank it yet in terms of theme parks, but when it comes to a park I'm dying to go to again, it is Epic.
Yeah,
I want to check out more of it. It's very crowded right now, though. So
it is crowded. It is
very
crowded.
popular, as one would imagine. But all right, what was your list? And I'll go through mine, and then we'll just do a summary here.
Okay, so it went Yoshi's Adventure, Curse of the Werewolf, Fire Drill, Dragon Racers Rally, Le Cirque Arcanu, Minecart Madness, Constellation Carousel, The Untrainable Dragon, Mario Kart Bowser's Challenge, Stardust Racers, Hiccups Wing Gliders, Monsters Unchained, The Frankenstein Experiment. That's the full name, right?
Yes.
Okay. And then Harry Potter and the Battle of the Ministry.
Yes, and mine was Fire Drill, Yoshi's Adventure, Dragon Racers Rally, Stardust Racers, Le Cirque Arcanu, Constellation Carousel, Curse of the Werewolf, Untrainable Dragon Show, Mario Kart Bowser's Challenge, Donkey Kong Minecart Madness, Hiccups Wing Gliders, Monsters Unchained, and Battle at the Ministry. So,
all right.
Similar list on some of them, a little bit different there, but no, it was fun. Ranking those was kind of fun. Makes you kind of like sit there and be like, wait a minute, where do I rank this? Where do I put this? But it's enjoyable. But either way, that's going to be it though for the show. I do believe that everything we wanted to talk about here. But before we go, just be sure to check us out on social media. We are at Cap the Magic everywhere, including YouTube, where I do daily videos over there about theme parks and pop culture. So you can go check that out over at Cap the Magic. Almost at 13,000 subs. Getting close, within like a couple of hundred there. So if you haven't subscribed there, go check that out. And then, of course, video versions of the podcast you can check out at CTM Podcast on YouTube. And we also have some more shows on the network. You can check out our Disney show, which is every Thursday. And we talk about Disney World on that one. And this one we talk about Universal. So we split them up that way. And then Jamie has Trip Tales, which is her trip report show. And when's the next one there coming out?
Should be next Monday if everything works out all right.
Okay.
So if you want to be a guest on a future Trip Tales episode, you can go to ctmtriptales.com, fill out the information about your trip, and if I want you on the show, I will contact you. I have September and October already locked down. So if you are in July, so if you're doing an August trip or into November, December, hit me up.
Hit up Jamie.
Hit up me.
All right. And before we go, if you want to contribute to the show, you want more content, you want to interact with us a bit more, you can check out Club 32, and that's our private group, kind of like our own Patreon, just hosted on our own end. And in there, you have weekly live streams from us where we hang out with everybody and just chat about whatever questions people have, random comments, whatever you want to talk about, we talk about in there. We also have the Clubhouse show, which is now a monthly show that happens on there. There's a private podcast feed where all the content is on there and music loops. And I'm going to be putting the Epic Universe music on those loops as well. So you want to check those out. A lot of people like to listen to those like while they're doing work or just background music throughout the day. Check that out. Plus, you have 20% off of CTM Apparel and 1901 Candle Company products year round. We have meetups twice a year you can take a part of. And Facebook group where you can ask questions, interact a bit more. You know, it's a fun place to just get some, answer questions, meet some other people. It's a lot of fun. And we also have some different options. You can do monthly or yearly. If you do the yearly, you get a free T-shirt. If you do the monthly, you can even do a free trial. Make it, try it out for you. Before you commit there. But either way, if you want to join there, you can go to ctmvip.com. And if you'd like to join, we'd love to have you. So, all right. Well, that's going to do it for the show. So thank you, everybody, for listening and or watching. And thank you, Jamie, for joining us.
Thank you.
And as Jamie always likes to say,
we will see you in the parks.
Bye.